Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy JT, and welcome to a live Leeds United transfer talk. There are a lot of stories circulating today around the world of Leeds United, around a few potential signings that we are looking through to get through the door. More specifically, Brenden Aaronson. There has been big developments in that one. Will we finally be able to get him done? I certainly hope so. Hello, Ethan, my brother. How are you? Let's just riff for a couple of minutes. Let people get in here. Have we got any Leeds fans in here? Any Premier League fans in general? I don't know, but it is a fine evening. Evening all, Joe Depp. How are you? We are here to discuss all the big news, all the major news surrounding Leeds United's transfer policy. As we hit 2 goddamn likes, 2 absolute living legends in the chat. How are you on this fine? Is it Tuesday? I'm actually losing track of the days. I took a few bangs to the head today and I'm not quite seeing straight. But alas, we move on with the first story of the day. Let's get ourselves over to this one. And it is, of course, surrounding that man, Brenden Aaronson. There is no transfer policy. I'll tell you the transfer policy. The transfer policy is get some flipping players through the door, my man. That is the transfer policy right there. Because right now, we're about as active as a virgin in a strip club. Okay, come on, I really want Brenden Aaronson, so do I, my man. Well, first of all, let's have a little delve into Brenden Aaronson's statistics. Obviously, 3 goals, 7 assists in 2008 minutes. So 26 games, 3 goals, 7 assists. So he's clearly someone who's able to pitch in with the goals. 2 of the goals coming in the Champions League qualifiers. And that's, so 2 goals and 1 assist in 129 minutes of Champions League qualifiers. The guy is clearly adept on the ball. The guy is clearly someone who could help fill that Mateusz Klich role. Because I don't know what you guys are thinking about Mateusz Klich. But Mateusz Klich, for me, I think he's very good. I think he's very adept in that position. But he needs a bit of a rest. You know, he's been run ragged the past few years. And you see it sometimes, his performances are quite inconsistent. Sometimes, like against Burnley, he's absolutely sensational, running the show. But he needs to have a little rest here and there. And he needs someone high with a lot of energy and creativity next to him. And Brenden Aaronson could be the man. So let's get into this one. Leeds United obsessed with trying to complete the Aaronson deal. This is, of course, coming from Fabrizio Romano. Leeds have tabled 2 bids for Aaronson. Of course, we had the £15 million one. Then we had the £20 million one we've just put in there. Guardian journalist Romano reports that Salzburg would rather not let the USA international leave, but suggests that a change of heart could always be on the cards as deadline nears. So what this seems to me like is a very simple case of the club do not want to have their squad dissettled in the middle of the season, as you'd expect, you know, especially one of their starlets in the midfield, because the midfield, let's be honest, in the way today's game is played, the midfield is pivotal, which is why I think Leeds have been having the problem, because we haven't had the midfield. Good evening, JT. At least we really want Aaronson. Feels very Dan Jamesy, like Swansea. It does, when he was originally there, and Bielsa was really keen on signing him. So the fact that we're sticking in with it, because as you saw with the Nandez situation, we really wanted him, but we didn't quite go for him. You know what I mean? And although we kind of dipped our toe back into the market this summer, we never quite really pursued. The only times I've really seen Leeds recently severely pursue a player has been Dan James. It had been Ben White, where we had about 3 bids rejected, and now it's really looking like that with the Aronson deal. I think we'll sign him on deadline day. I want to sign him before deadline day because, look, we're going to have a nice couple-week break where we don't have a cup game, and I think that could be a perfect time to integrate Aronson into the squad. But I digress. We do move on. Yes, it's true. Salzburg rejected the proposal from Leeds. Romano said in a video clip on YouTube, they want him, they're obsessed with him, and they want to sign him, but Aronson is an important player. Bit of waffle. They have European football. They want to keep him to the end of the season, sell him in the summer. Obviously, they would do. We'll see what happens in the coming days. The end of the transfer, anything can happen, and it's basically just talking about how obsessed we are. Now, we move on to a bit of the meat. As of Tuesday the 25th of January at 8:28. It's currently 9:23. As of an hour ago, Leeds have seemingly have their final answer of RB Salzburg over their pursuit of Brendan Aronson, and it's not the response they were hoping for. Of course, this would be damning news. My mate who supports Fulham loves Fabio Carvalho. Well, Logan, my man, we've got Fabio Carvalho coming up very soon as a move that has been touted to be that Samuel Saiz replacement. I mean, a long time coming for a Samuel Saiz replacement, don't get me wrong, but we will be talking about Carvalho in just a bit. If we sign anyone, I'll go find that virgin in the strip club. Yeah, go sort it out yourself. But basically, Salzburg are very, very, very reluctant to sell. Even Phil Hay coming out and saying that it doesn't seem like it's going to be possible now. It seems like they're going to have to wait till the summer. But I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Personally, I feel like because the player has such a strong, a perceived strong desire to come to the Premier League and to come to Leeds, I think there's still chance in this. Salzburg, from the looks of it, are trying everything they can to put the deal off, everything they can to delay it. But I haven't seen us with this kind of intent. And I think to the point where we're going to be willing to pay up to £25 million. Obviously, this is going to be one of the hottest developing stories over the next 6 days. I mean, would you guys take another alternative over Brendan Aronson, or would he be your first choice? We will not sign Fabio Carvalho, I'm sure of that. Well, we'll get on to the Fabio Carvalho stuff in a bit, but I think there's actually a very good chance of that. Aronson is very interested in a move to England, but Salzburg are under no pressure to let him go. If the Aronson move doesn't materialise, a quiet end to January is likely at Leeds. And then, of course, keeping in the vein of the midfield position, I think this is one that we always knew was never gonna happen, was never gonna work. It is the main man, Ronaldo Vieira. The guy's only played 39 minutes of football this season. He's not fit. He has his own injury problems, and it's just never really gonna happen. I would try £25 million for Brendan Aronson. Ethan has rejected contracts, so he is free in the summer. Well, that's the debate, isn't it? That's the debate. Do we hold our gunpowder, potentially use that money to invest in other areas of the squad, to strengthen other areas of the squad, and save a hell of a lot of money in the summer in doing so? If we're prepared to wait 5 months, if we say, you know what we have, and then maybe another investment in a different key position, like potentially a striker or something, will be enough to keep us up. They'll say, we can't really go for Europe this year, but another investment in the striking position will be enough to keep us up. And then in the summer, we save a hell of a lot of money and just give him a big fat signing on contract and get him then. So that could be the deal we look for. Obviously, as fans, I mean, although it may work out in the long run and we may have a little bit more money to spend in the summer, I think we are desperate for a midfielder right now. Play Bates, he is class. Lewis Bate is class, but he isn't quite experienced enough to take that role on full time. You know, personally, I think you need someone around him with a little bit more experience. But on the Ronaldo Vieira deal, obviously, Leeds are still interested in signing Ronaldo Vieira, but they want to keep hold of him. This, agree, Frankie. Yeah, absolutely. Ethan, Fabio won't be a Fulham player in the summer, but I see him at Arsenal, at London, and big team. I don't know. I don't know about Arsenal, though, because Arsenal are already packed with midfielders. Their squad is already... I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying, why they're packed with midfielders. I mean, Fabio could find himself sticking to London, going to Arsenal, but I think there's more of a chance of us getting him personally. I think there's more of a chance of younger players being played at Leeds. We're packed with midfielders. Do you drink? All right. Well, tell me where I'm wrong, Bargav. Tell me where I'm wrong in that. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong. I mean, I guess. I'm comparing that to Leeds, who have about half a midfielder fit. So that's probably where I'm coming from there. I don't know why your shirt is giving me Fulham vibes. Yeah, the white and the black. I get it. Well, I'm just channeling my inner Fulham, you know, just to lure Carvalho over, you know. I want to make him feel comfortable, make him feel like he already knows what's going on here, and then he's more likely to come here. We've got midfielders in name, no chances created. I guess, yeah, but is that 100% down to the midfielders, or is that down to the tactics? Because Smith Rowe, Saka, Odegaard, I mean, these are creative players, you know, especially Odegaard. He's got very, very good class there on the ball. I'd certainly agree with him there. Agree, Logan. Maybe not Arsenal. Maybe Liverpool. Liverpool? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe. It does seem like one of those deals that would suit Liverpool, wouldn't it? Carvalho. You know what? While we are talking about Carvalho, let's just look at this. Leeds could finally replace Samu Says by signing Fabio Carvalho. This was reported on very, very recently. We are among the teams interested in Fabio Carvalho. That is according to the Daily Mail, who claim the Fulham attacker is wanted by the Whites, Liverpool, and West Ham, among others. He is out of contract in the summer, and he'll be free to join these clubs for a compensation ahead of next season. Switch to a Premier League side this month could be too tempting to turn down, especially if the Championship giants are able to secure some sort of fee. £5 million, though. As little as £5 million. Hey, look, let me tell you something. Although this transfer window hasn't gone to plan, if we could secure Carvalho for £5, Aronson for 20 million, or 25, give or take, 30 million overall, I think that's a good summer. I think that's a good summer, personally. I would also want to see some sort of striking option. But I think Aronson, along with Carvalho, I think that's a good summer. Would you guys how would you rate that? If we didn't sign anyone else and we just got Aronson and we got Carvalho, how would you rate that out of 10? Odegaard boss is backwards way more than forward. Gonna take him 2 years. They got their days. Odegaard is trash. Oh my god. Wow. Is it just me, or is it a cold summer? Well, what do you mean by a cold summer? I feel like I'm missing the analogy on that one. Wear red so Brendan Aronson will come here. That's a good point. But I'm afraid I cannot do that to myself, because red is kind of the color of the enemy, and I can't bring myself to wear that, unfortunately. But let's carry on with the story. The Yorkshiremen have lacked a midfield addition, particularly of an attacking nature, in the number 10 role. Absolutely, we have. You said it would be a good summer, brother. You're going in for Brendan Aronson. Won't be cold for me. Whoa, nice signing. We are going in for your fellow compatriot, Brendan Aronson. We've been trying to get him for ages. He plays for RB Salzburg at the moment, and they are very reluctant to let him go. but Leeds seem hell-bent on getting him. They seem absolutely hell-bent on signing Brendan Aronson. So as to whether we will or not, it's undecided, but he seems like he's very keen on the move. And if we're very keen on it, I think if we do splash an extra £5 million in there, then we can make it happen. I will not be happy just for the academy. What do you mean? You won't be happy with those two? In fact, won't be cold for me. Why wouldn't it be cold for you, geezer? In fact, you know what? I'm gonna pose a new question to you now. Yeah. Due to you saying it will be a good summer of business, I took that and said as a joke, it'd be a cold summer. Due to it being winter, if you get what I mean. No, I exactly know what you mean there. Sorry, I was a bit slow on the head from that one. Like I said, I've taken a couple of punches to the temple today, and I'm seeing things a bit funny. But yeah, absolutely. I think it will be a hot summer. It has to be a hot summer. It has to be a scorching hot summer. We need serious quality in there. We need at least 2 or 3 top draw players. And like you say, this is meant to be a Samu Saiz replacement. We need a Pablo Hernandez replacement. We need a creative number 10, which is why someone like I know I'm harping back to something that's never going to happen in Rodrigo de Paul, but someone like that, someone of real quality in that number 10 role. It's what we need. It's what we lack, because there's so many games, like again against Newcastle. We get to the edge of the area. We get in and around the 18-yard box, and then we just don't have the quality to pick out the final pass. The amount of times we wasted the ball in our final pass is absolutely unbelievable there. We need someone with composure, with quality. Could Carvalho turn out to be that man? Obviously, it isn't known yet. Scorching hot, literally and metaphorically. Literal is the weather, and the metaphorical is the business for Leeds. I think also the thing they both have in common with the weather in this country is it's going to be completely imaginary. I doubt we'll get any heat. I doubt we'll have a blistering hot transfer window by the way we've been going about it. Leeds are older than Red Bull Salzburg. Yeah, of course. I mean, look at Red Bull have been on a tear. Actually, the way Red Bull run their clubs is very good, which is why I feel like it is especially hard to get him done, is because Red Bull as a club, you've seen it with RB Leipzig, they're very reluctant to let young players go. They'll hold on to them despite the fact that they will potentially get a little bit less money from it. They are a club who is very willing to make that sacrifice to keep the players there at the club. Let's see if there's anything more on this about Carvalho. He's capable of playing goals. He's enjoyed a breakthrough season, scoring 8 goals and laying on 2 assists in 17 appearances via Transfermarkt. Let's have a little look at his Transfermarkt, of course. If they can get me the statistics. Here we go. Let me just bring this over to that screen there. In the FA Cup, 1 game, 86 minutes played, nothing happening there. But look at this. 17 games played, 8 goals, 2 assists. So 10 goal contributions in 17 games. Yes, it is the championship. And that is 147 minutes per goal or assist is very good. And actually, there's something I want to compare that to. I really want to compare that to something. I want to compare that to how we were in the championship campaign. So I'm going to compare that specifically to Mateusz Klich. I'm trying to get the right year here. All seasons. Here we go. Let's see. 1920 championship campaign. So, compared to Leeds are older than Red Bull. Fabio is 22 years old. Fabio is 18 or 19, Ethan. Let me get his exact age out for you. What the hell is that sound? Why is there some Buki sound playing? Fabio Carvalho is 19 years old. Very, very young. So let's compare this here. So in 18 games, he's got 8 goals and 2 assists. Now, Mateusz Klich, in the year that we got promoted from the championship. Let's get this up here. Are they gonna get his? Are they gonna get his stats here? What's going on here? Mateusz Klich. Okay. So in the year he was promoted from the championship, he got 6 goals and 5 assists in 45 appearances. The year before that, he got 10 goals and 8 assists in 46 appearances. So Mateusz Klich's first season, which was his most prolific season for Leeds, he got 18 goal contributions in 46 games. He has got 10 goal contributions in 18 games. Now, if you level that up, that becomes 20 in 36. So it is slightly better than Mateusz Klich. So if you look at it from that perspective, for a guy who's a lot younger than Klich, he has a potential to be a hell of a lot more proficient for Leeds in the future. However, obviously, there are things to take into account. Leeds play differently to Fulham. Are Fulham a bit more reliant on him? Could he have got even more goals playing under a free-flowing Bielsa team? Who knows? I mean, look at the way Samuel Say. If Bielsa had Samuel Sai's firing all cylinders, imagine what we could have got out of him. So, it is very impressive looking at those numbers, comparing it to other players in our squad, of course. Let's have a little look at some other news that we have had today. Leeds are in the race to sign Raul de Thomas. Why did I say Fabio Carvalho again? Raul de Thomas, who this year in 23 appearances has got 12 goals and 2 assists, all coming from La Liga. In La Liga, he has got a goal or an assist every 155 minutes. James, would you have Brendan Aronson or Fabio? See, this is the thing I was asking you guys. It's very interesting. Hang on a second. My seat's gone down. I'm not there. That's what I was asking you guys. Who would you rather have out of that? As I just take a little pause to notice we have got 5 whole goddamn likes. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're liking from. But all I know is you're absolute living legends. I'd rather have Aronson. I think he's a bit more industrious. He may be a little bit less better offensively, but he's a little bit more industrious. And I think at this point in the season, we need that a lot more. So I think I'd go for Brendan Aronson. Ethan, I want both. Don't get me wrong. I'd love both. I think they work perfectly together. What's the chances of having another injury hit season next year? Quite high. Probably, knowing our luck, quite high. But Raul de Thomas, like I say, is obviously going to be another striking option. How much we are willing to pay for him, I did see some rumors that we were about to go into the region of 10 to 50 million pounds for him. How much would you be willing to pay for Raul de Thomas? And do you think he would be a decent signing? I think he could make good backup to Bamford, of course. Bamford trying to get himself back fit, but it has been here. 90% have injured next season. Let me check. What is his height? I'm actually intrigued to see how tall his height is. How tall his height is. How tall he is. 1.78 meters. How much is that? 1.78 meters in feet. So he's a short guy. He is a short guy. At 5'9", just under 5'8.5". His work rate off the ball is incredible. His first touch is just amazing. And his movement on the ball is just Prem quality. About Fabio from my mate who supports Fulham. Well, there you go. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If you mix him with an industrious midfielder, it'll allow him more freedom. Could you imagine him with Phillips and Forshaw behind him? Because with Phillips and Forshaw behind him, he'd have to do a lot less defensive work. And he'd have that freedom of the Mateusz Klich role where he's just expected to do all the attacking there. Especially when we first started when Bielsa first started at Leeds. That was Mateusz Klich's role, that attacking regista who was expected to just do all of the offensive work. So with a full squad with Fulham in there, that could be quite tasty. If you partner him up with someone a bit more industrious like Aronson as well. Which club does he play for? He plays for Fulham. But like I say about Raúl de Tomás is a short guy. He's only 5'8.5". He's shorter than me, ironically. But he could have a good little and large relationship with Patrick Bamford, especially if they do decide to put him in that second striker role that Rodrigo has been occupying. Devil's Advocate, should we change our training regime or buy players? No talk about striker. What do you mean no talk about striker? This is the striker that we have most recently been linked with, or should I say forward player, goal scorer that we have been linked with. Gunners have also identified him as an alternative to Dusan Vlahovic, while Leicester City also mentioned his potential suitors. So, should we change our training regime or buy players? I don't think we should change our training regime at all. I don't think that's 100% of what's causing the injuries. I think we've been unlucky. I think COVID has played a part of it. I think the extreme amount of games we've had to play in a short period of time, especially with players like Calvin Phillips, who didn't have a summer break at all because he went to the Euros and he played non-stop at the Euros. He came back, he had a few weeks back, and then he's back into the firing line of it. Who does the striker play for? Well, sorry, let me just finish answering this question. So, I don't think we need to change the regime at all. I think it's just we need more players. We need higher quality players because we're relying too much on youth players. We're burning the candle at both ends in both the youth team and the main team. Who does Raúl de Tomás play for? He plays for RCD Espanyol, of course, in La Liga. So 12 goals in 21 La Liga appearances. It is slightly easier to be a high goal-scoring forward in La Liga than the Premier League. That does have to be taken into account. The football is slightly slower, especially for someone of his diminutive stature. The slower-paced, more methodical, tactical style of football could suit him more than in the Premier League. Who the hell are they? They are the rivals of Barcelona. They're basically the massive local rivals of Barcelona. They're an old historic side actually, Espanyol. They've been around for donkeys. I'm not sure if they've won any European trophies, but their most notorious thing is, of course, their rivalry with Barcelona. But yeah, they are a solid regular La Liga outfit. They're like a West Brom or someone like that, or Fulham, rival of Barca. Ethan, yeah, they're that's why Mauricio Pochettino used to captain Espanyol. That's why Mauricio Pochettino always said, out of all the clubs, I would never go and manage Barca because of the fact he was Espanyol captain. But they're like a West Brom, you know. They're well, when they're in the Premier League, or a Stoke, or let me think, or a Southampton. They're kind of like a Southampton. They're just there each year. They're just there. Where are they in the league? They're 13th, according to Logan. But yeah, so he's a good mid-table La Liga player. Will he transfer that into the Premier League? I don't know. How much we're going to be demanding for him. It being said, there's little chance that the Whites would pay the amount that they are demanding for Thomas. Like I said, I was hearing something for around 10 to 50 million pounds, but anything more than that, anything 20 million pound plus, I don't think is likely. What players do you think will be promoted to the first team from the likes of Gelhard, Bate, etc.? What players do I think will be promoted to the first team? I think Hjeld will be, and I think Bate will be. Because obviously, even whatchamacallit came out the other day, Angus Kinnear, and he specifically mentioned Bate and Hjeld for the youth players that he wants to make the step up, and the reason why he doesn't want to splash £8 million on a bunch of random players. How many goals and assists? 12 goals and 2 assists in 23 appearances, equating to a goal and an assist every 155 minutes of football, which is very impressive in and of itself. How that would transfer into the Premier League and how that would transfer into a BIELSA system, obviously we don't know. I think he would work very well in the BIELSA system because of his diminutive figure and his sharpness on the ball, from what I've read. But obviously only time will tell, and you can't be 100% certain. But if you compare his goals and assists to Rodrigo the season before we had him, yes, 100%. Somerville, kind of, he was in there, but he has fallen off the boil a little bit since he first broke in there. But the thing for me with Somerville, yes, I do think he's probably one of our best youngsters. It's just unfortunate for him personally that he occupies the one position that we have a lot of players in. The one position we're not weak in at the moment is the wing position. Dan James, who was brought in as an expensive winger, can barely get a game in his natural position. He's being forced into the striker role because he can't get in over Rafinha and he can't get in over Jack Harrison. So if Dan James is struggling to get game time on the wing, then Somerville, there's little to no chance of him getting consistent, regular football. I know absolutely nothing about Kenner. He's a CDM. To be honest, I don't know. I've watched a few youth games. I don't know too much about it myself. To be honest, but Gelhard as well. I didn't mention Gelhard. Gelhard has a great chance of getting in and around there. Again, for me, I think he just needs to work on his positioning and his first touch. Once he gets his first touch going, I think that's when we could really see Gelhard come into his own. But just to finish up here, there is, of course, this story, which, I mean, let's get rid of the boost. Why are you handing us a boost? I don't want to be handed a boost in this. This is, I don't know about you guys, but are you guys excited by this? Does this fill you with optimism? Does this fill you with comfort? I mean, when I look at Hjeld, who we already have at the club, I look at oh my god, how have I my mind's gone blank. I'm so sorry. The other Cresswell. When we look at Cresswell and we look at Hjeld, who already have at the club, I don't think we need this man at all. Personally, there's a reason why Conte doesn't want him, and I'm not here to disrespect Joe Rodon. But if we look at the players we already have at the club in Hjeld, I'm not excited by this story at all. As he is keen on selling the player. We don't need another centre-back. Too many we've got exactly. And I know he can play at fullback, Joe Rodon. But again, with Hjeld and other people who can already do that, I'm not very excited about this at all. He's decent. We don't know what Bielsa thinks. We have 5 already. Kenner. Kenner is rated as being decent. Yeah, well, look, it's about how he develops. Look, the step up from youth football to Premier League football doesn't always translate. There are some players that are lighting it up in youth football, then it comes to first team football and they can't deal with the physicality. I was actually doing a piece where I was talking to some academy managers and they were talking about the under-23 system. It's quite flat. Everyone tries to play the same way. Tactically, it's very samey. People trying to play it along the floor. You don't really come up against many different styles. It's all people in and around your own age group. You don't get a lot of the physical battle that even you get in playing lower league football, that you get in playing non-league football, where 1 week you're going to be playing it against a team that lumps it long, and they're going to have a centre forward elbowing you in the face every 2 seconds. So that's why you never really know what you're going to get, which increases the stock of someone like Carvalho, who is that young and would have a hell of a lot more experience than any youth player we have in that system, because he's already played more than 99% of these youth players that we're all mentioning here. That's the beauty of a Fabio Carvalho, for example. We don't know what Bielsa thinks. Who's centre-back? Ethan. People like Bate Gelhard translated, but Somerville and Drama hasn't. I think Somerville has. I think if I was going to look at someone who hasn't quite yet, it's Sam Greenwood for me. Sam Greenwood hasn't translated well. I think Somerville has in patches, but his physicality is not quite there yet. He gets bobbled off the ball too easily at times for me. But I think he has translated roughly well. Who's the centre-back? Ethan, Koch, Cresswell, Cooper, Llorente, Hjeld, and who else? Koch, Cresswell, Cooper, and Struijk. You're forgetting Struijk. You're forgetting the main man, Virgil van Struijk, the best centre-half we have at the club. The trouble is, Bielsa is too loyal for some of the players. I mean, look at Roberts as a championship player. Rodrigo should be gone. I don't think Rodrigo should be gone. There's an argument to be had that maybe we potentially spent a little bit too much money on him. But for him to be gone, I think that's a little harsh. I think, especially against the lower league oppositions, like the Burnleys and the Southamptons and the Newcastle, his quality really shows, Rodrigo, in that second striker role. I mean, look at him the other day against Newcastle. Some of the balls he was playing around were absolutely sensational. One of them, he did an outside of the foot with his left foot, curled it all the way through to Rafinha, who ended up getting through. And it was that was the play where Rafinha cut it back and Jack Harrison took the shot, it was deflected, and then it left Dan James with an absolute sitter who really should have scored that, should have side-footed that in. If he'd scored that, that would have been all down to that lovely ball by Rodrigo Moreno. So I think people are a bit too harsh on Rodrigo personally. I think he's definitely got quality there. He's definitely got something to offer. But yeah, Ethan, I'm on about out-and-out Struijk, yeah, Struijk, yeah. Out-and-out centre-back, 7 centre-back. Yeah, Luke Ayling, not a centre-back, but he can play there. He's not Struijk shit. He not Struijk shit. Struijk is ain't shit. Struijk is the main man. Shit, yeah, Struijk. How can you forget about Struijk the Rock? Struijk is, I'd say, for me, our best defender. I think, for me, the best two at the club, if we're going to start our two strongest at this current moment in time, is Struijk and Koch. Struijk and Koch are my two men. Tallest, have the most physical presence, and they're just the most consistent for me. I think if you're going to go 3 at the back, Llorente in there as well. 3 at the back with Llorente there. I think, actually, we could have a very, very strong defense. If we went 3 at the back with Llorente, Koch, and Struijk, we had left wing back Junior Firpo, right wing back maybe Ayling, maybe put Firpo on the other side, put Jack Harrison there, maybe Ayling right wing back, and you had a midfield 2 of Forshaw and Phillips. Forshaw Phillips with a back 3 of Llorente, Koch, because you see the way Phillips likes to come back and help us out defensively. Llorente is someone who likes to come forward on the ball more. So Llorente and Phillips could actually alternate there. And then you've got a back 3 of Phillips, Struijk, and Koch, which is really good. Which I think, with a full squad of defenders, I think we have a lot of options there. And which is why I say here, I really don't think that Joe Rodon is a big need here. A midfielder to help us out defensively is a lot more important than that. Like a Brendan Aronson, or even a Carvalho, and then you can move Klitsch back a bit more and put him in a more defensive role. But Struijk and Llorente for me. Over Koch, I mean, fair enough. JT, you're talking yourself out of buying players, Cooper and Struijk for Bielsa. Yes, but that is with a full-strength squad, and I'm talking mainly about the defensive region. I think what we need is a right-back. We need a right back. We saw it with Newcastle signing Trippier and how important he was against us there. We need another right back. Yes, Ayling's very good, but he's tiring. He's getting older and he's picking up more injuries. We need an out-and-out top draw right back. I think Junior Firpo can really grow into being that top draw left back that we so desired when we signed him. I think we need a top right back, especially this is for the summer. This is a roadmap. We need a top right back. We need a top holding midfielder. We need a top offensive midfielder. And we need a top striker. With 4 players in that position, yeah. Leeds have no chance of getting Fabio Carvalho. Why would you say that, my man? I don't think that we have no chance at all. I think we have a very good chance of getting him in either the summer when he's out of contract, or getting him now if we splash enough cash. I mean, for him personally, why would he not want to come to Leeds? I think it's a perfect system for him to express himself. I think if he goes to an Arsenal or a top 6 club like that, you'll probably see him not get as much game time as he so desires. If he goes to Southampton or I can't think, a Brentford, maybe Brentford's a bad example, but if he goes to like a Crystal Palace or something like that, he might not get as much freedom on the ball. He might not play as much of a offensive football as you play at Leeds. I think Leeds is the perfect place for him to express himself and really kick on and make a name for himself. I think Leeds could be a perfect place for Carvalho to do so. I think that's my mate who supports Fulham. Oh, no, but I recognise Matrix Gaming, actually. I think I recognise you being in here a couple of times earlier on. Maybe I'm being mistaken, but I do recognise you from being in a couple of my streams. Ethan, I ain't got a problem with Llorente hooving it up, or Llorente always tries for long ball. I do. I think that's not the way to play. I don't think Llorente does. I think sometimes you've got to use the diagonals, though. That's something they do use well, are the diagonals. And, I mean, even Liam Cooper used to be very good at spraying those diagonals. So there is no problem with spraying it long every now and again, but I think he's there. Really think he's going to choose Leeds over the likes of West Ham and Liverpool, etc. Well, it comes down to game time. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to how much game time either of those clubs are going to offer him, especially if West Ham in the summer go back in and get themselves a Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard occupies a very similar kind of role to him. So will Carvalho be taking a backseat for Jesse Lingard? Potentially. Liverpool, they ask a hell of a lot of defensive work rate from their players. They already have a Harvey Elliott, who is kind of that more free-flowing offensive player. So I don't know. I think personally that he has a great chance, and Leeds could develop in the next few years. We have aims to be a top European club, and he could be a big part of that. But obviously it depends on what package they're willing to offer him. No need to get right back. We've got Jamie Shackleton or Cody Drama. First of all, no, we don't. Jamie Shackleton, not good enough to be a right back at this level. I'm sorry. I love the guy. But as a right back at the top level, he is not an out-and-out right back. He is not a top-level out-and-out right back. Maybe he could do it in the midfield if he really develops. But Shackleton, for me, not gonna cut the mustard if we are trying to get into top 6 and Europe. Cody Drama, I don't see coming back. The words that whatchamacallit, that Bielsa said before about him when he did leave, I found quite damning, and I don't see a place back for him there. Leeds fans are deluded. What fans aren't deluded, Matrix Gaming? When you can tell me a fan base that aren't delusional, when you can tell me a single football fan who isn't extremely fickle and changes their opinions on the basis of their club, or tweaks them, or has some sort of bias towards their club, then I will be extremely surprised. I try to be as unbiased as possible here, and I think me saying that we have a chance of potentially getting him is quite an accurate point. I don't see why we're not in with a shout of getting him. I don't see why it is a foregone conclusion that he would go to a West Ham or a Liverpool if they weren't willing to offer him game time, or if West Ham were able to get someone more proven in that role. I don't see why that makes me particularly delusional, to be honest. And I don't see why Leeds wouldn't be an attractive outfit for him if we were to start splashing the cash more, if we were to offer him good money, and if we were to tell him that we were going to put some good players around him. Carvalho will want guaranteed first team football, or as near as damn it. Exactly. And why can he not do that? Why we're not deluded, mate? We're just passionate fans. Well, exactly. You know, what club wouldn't want to talk about them getting players? But hey, you know, if you feel like we have absolutely no chance of getting him, that's absolutely fair enough. That's a fair point. But I strongly disagree with that, and I hope I articulated my reasons as to why that is in a way that isn't just biased towards me, but is a way of looking at it as an overall package if I wasn't a Leeds fan. And I think Leeds do offer a very attractive package for a young player like Carvalho looking to make his name in the Premier League. But hey, Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And can I just say, can I thank you to the 8 living legends who just liked up the stream? I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're liking from. But all I know, my friend, is you guys are absolute living legends. Agree, we're not deluded, mate. We are just passionate fans as before. So I think we've discovered that we do not need any defensive reinforcements. The two main players, I think Raul de Tomas, I don't really see this having a lot of legs to it. I mean, I think from what it sounds like, they're going to want way too much money. He's not 100% proven in the Premier League. So I don't think Raul de Tomas is 100% going to happen. It's your opinion, and we can't change your opinion. Absolutely. You know, you're entitled to your own train of thought. And there is a lot of truth in the fact that compared to a West Ham or a Liverpool at this current moment in time, if the independent variable of playing time was the same across both, if they both said to him, they're gonna make him their main midfielder, they're gonna start him every week, then yes, there is a lot higher of a chance he's gonna go to a West Ham or a Liverpool, who will probably offer him a little bit more money at this current moment in time and the ability to play in Europe. But my mate who supports Fulham, before we saw Raf, he called him shite. Well, if it's my mate who supports Fulham, before he called Raf, he called him shite. Well, first of all, that is absolutely fraudulent, because you could tell the first time I saw Rafinha lace those beautiful, beautiful boots for the beautiful kit of Leeds United, I can tell this guy was different gravy. You could tell he's different from the rest of the players we have. Mentally, offensively, physical, technically, flair, everything. He's elite. Lad, I'm a United fan, and I ain't even gonna lie, he wouldn't come to us. Never mind you lads. Who, what, Carvalho? No. What, you think he wouldn't go to Man United or Leeds? I don't know. Like I said, it depends on what clubs are willing to offer him. But I mean, you guys could probably offer him a lot of cash, but then again, who would want to go to that club? Good players around him. Looks like what he's got around him at Fulham, he's got Mitrovic to hold the ball up for him, Wilson, Kenny, so better players than what Leeds will get. I'm not sure about that one, my man. I'm not sure that Harry Wilson, Tom Kearney, and Mitrovic are any better than Rafinha, Jack Harrison, Patrick Bamford, Mateus Klitsch, Rodrigo Moreno. I'm not sure really Calvin Phillips, if I'm going to carry on there. I'm not sure those players are exactly better than us. Otherwise, we would have signed Harry Wilson instead of signing Rafinha. So I'm not 100% sure where you're going with that one, mate. Earlier, you said a top-class striker. Would this be above Bamford? Potentially. But also as a backup to Bamford. But potentially, you know, maybe someone could play in the second striker role. Maybe we could play two up top. Maybe we could play, give him a rest. But the way he's been injured this year, we don't know how Bamford's going to return from the injuries. Obviously, he returned with a goal and a decent performance against Brentford when he came back. But we don't know how he's going to be on a consistent level when he comes back. Hopefully, he starts like a house on fire again and he carries on in the rich vein form we think he can do. Maybe signed CR7 as a synergy ruiner when we got synergy. I guess there is that argument to be had, but I think you still take Ronaldo. I think, you know, it's down to the other players to adapt around him. I don't think he's necessarily 100% of a synergy ruiner. I think he's a winner, and I think you've got a lot of frauds in that club who are just simply not winners. That's what I think it is. Definitely my mate who supports Fulham. He'd go to the scummies to sit on the bench. Do you genuinely rate Bamford as a Premier League striker? Geezer, 17 goals in his first Premier League campaign. Are you telling me you don't rate Patrick Bamford as a Premier League striker? He's quick, deceptively quick. His fastest speed last year was quicker than Dan James's fastest top speed last year. He's got insane movement. His hold-up play is immense. Yes, he can be inconsistent in front of goal, but when he gets his right, his technique is impeccable. His hold-up play is impeachable, and he's got the flair for days. His movement especially, I hark on about it a lot, but Bamford's movement it is enough to get him through at the top level. He always manages to find space in the box. He always manages to get himself in the right time and the right area at the right time. Yes, he is definitely Premier League quality. Mitrovic only 3 goals in the Premier League in his last campaign. I mean, that says it all. If you're going to compare it to him, look at the Dwight Gales, these type of players that always bang in the Championship, probably bang more than Bamford in the Championship. But the Premier League step up, like I said, some people adapt to it very well, some people don't adapt to it well. And Patrick Bamford is definitely someone who adapts to it well, and he fits perfectly in a Bielsa system. Whether he'll do that as well in another system, I don't 100% know, but he's definitely Premier League quality. Matrix, revealed yourself. Who called him world class? Happy Burns night to our Scottish contingent, Liam Cooper, Stuart McKinstry, and of course, especially Eddie and Archie Gray. I'm gonna really make myself look like a knob here. I'm not 100% sure what Happy Burns night is. But happy Burns night to any Scottish people out there. And if anyone wants to educate me on what exactly it is, I presume it's like St. George's Day of England, is what I could presume. Says it all, yeah, when in 20 of those, no, I haven't, Ewan. That's why Bamford's been called up for England, mate. Says it all, yeah, when in 20 of those 26 games he played, he got subbed on in the 80th minute in pretty much all of those games. Who are you talking about here? Who are you talking about got subbed on in the 80th minute? So what did Mitro do in season 1? Lad, go back to the stats, Logan. Most of the first-time strikers before him in the Prem brought up. Is he trying to? Is this debate seriously trying to say Mitrovic is better than? All right, let me just get his stats up. Let me just do this. Let's just have a look at this. Let's just have a look at this. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not having this. I'm not having this at all. Okay. All right. Let me just get Bamford up as well. Let me just get him up. Let's do this now. Okay. All right. So, if we compare it, okay, what was Mitrovic? So Mitrovic's first season in the Premier League at Fulham was while he was on loan. In that season, he got 11 goals in 37 appearances, all of which were starts. So 11 goals in 37 starts for Fulham in his first season back in the Premier League. That was, of course, 2018-2019. If you want to see that here, let's get that up on the screen for you there. Now, let's compare that with Patrick Bamford's last season in the Premier League, where in 38 appearances, he got 17 goals. In fact, can I just expand on this Mitrovic stats here? Is there any is there any more information on Mitro's thing there? Overview stats. I mean, we can do it overall thing here. Let's just go all seasons for Patrick Bamford. All seasons makes it look a little bit worse for him. But even then, even though Patrick Bamford started off his career horrendously, you know, in the top flight, you know, a lot of people really slating him. Compared to Mitrovic's 104 appearances with 20 goals, 20 wins, and 60 losses, Patrick Bamford has 71 appearances with 20 goals, 21 wins. So you're talking 4 goals in 29 plus 4. You're talking 4 goals in 33 games. So I don't think you can call that a better player. Lad, go back at the stats. Brentford each scored about... Look at the stats, Logan. Most first-time strikers before Bamford to the Prem brought abroad here scored 20 plus. I'm not sure about that one. Mitrovic called up to be a bench warmer, and your proud Kane beats him to top spot. I'd cry if a guy who can't speak English. I mean, he can speak English, and he's also one of the greatest strikers in the Premier League era, a guy who is set to break Alan Shearer's all-time Premier League record goal-scoring stat, a guy who is a Golden Boot winner in a World Cup, a guy who is about to break England's goal-scoring record, and he wasn't actually. Bamford was brought in that game, which was a friendly game, and then of course in the big game, he was benched for Harry Kane. But that's obvious. That's obvious. That's Harry Kane we're talking about here. How many goals has Mitro ever scored in the Prem? 11 goals, 3 assists. I don't care for Fulham, and it doesn't help you when you have 0 playmakers, so you can't use your actual ability. Man's meant to be a cam or a striker. Are you Fulham fan? Get your facts right. He wasn't on loan. He was on loan once. Well, if you're telling me to get my facts right, then you might want to look at the actual Premier League site where I got this from, because right here in the 2018-19 thing, it tells me he was on loan then that first season from Newcastle. So I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there, about me getting my facts right, but seems to me he was on loan from Newcastle in that first campaign. But hey, maybe the Premier League site is incorrect. Who knows? Get your facts right. He was on loan once. Bless him. He just started watching football when Leeds came to Prem Matrix. That's not 100% factual there, Ewan, but I'm pretty sure we've been watching Prem football before that. The Scottish national holiday celebrates the life and the work of Robert Burns, a famous poet who is known all over the world. 1718, he was on loan. Bamford is way better than Mitrovic. Couldn't agree more. Who can't speak English? He's talking about Harry Kane, who can't speak English. Lad, I'm not a Fulham fan, and honestly, mate, Mitro subbed on the 80th minute for the majority of his games due to injury. Yes, but in this season where he got all of his goals here, the point I was making, Ewan, is in this season where he got all of his goals, he wasn't subbed on because he started these games. So he wasn't subbed on at all. In the last year when he was in the Premier League, yes, he was. Yes, you've got a fair point there because he was subbed on in 14 of his games. However, in the other season where he got 11 goals and 3 assists, all of his games were starts. We brought Mitrovic in 2018 transfer window, £25 million. On transfer market, it says 17-18 when he was on loan. Yeah, potentially he was. Maybe they're doing a little overlap here. You could be right, but he did loan to them from Newcastle at some point. On transfer market, it says there, lad, you seen defense Kane plays versus Rooney. He would forever have been my number one. I ain't saying Kane's bad, but worries me that people think he's that good, lad. I mean, Harry Kane is that good, lad. And you're not just talking about for England. You're talking about club level. Yes, he hasn't won any trophies, but that's just because he plays for Tottenham Hotspur. If someone's trying to tell me Harry Kane isn't all that, then I don't know what to say to that. I am quite speechless, to be honest. I can bring up the stats to disagree with that. However, look, if you don't think from watching him and from seeing the stats already that he is a top player, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there was 1 year where the only person he was behind goals and assists-wise was Lionel Messi. So I'm not 100% sure about that one. Versus out-of-date Chiellini and gets dominated by an old Bonucci and damn. If you want to look at one-off games, anyone could look at one-off games and use that to judge a player. That's not a fair scope to judge someone. Look at the players that Mitrovic had around him that first season, and look who Bamford had around him last season. Only reason why Bamford scored more poachers. I don't think that's fair. I mean, look at the Villa 3-0 where Bamford scored a hat-trick and single-handedly allowed us to beat Villa. Look at his goals there. None of them were poachers. One of them was a rebound slide in. The other one was a beautiful finish from outside of the box. Another one was a dribble where he carved inside, twist and turn through and whipped it top bins. So I think that's very harsh on Patrick Bamford, to be honest. Damn, a 30-odd-year-old made him quiet when we played Italy. Lad, every time we play Italy and Belgium and Spain, he kept quiet. We have all those old defenses. Why are you acting like the only football he plays is international? The guy plays club football against some of the best in the business, and yet he tears them up on a weekly basis. So And I wouldn't 100% agree with that. Against Spain, he kept them quiet. Against Spain, when we beat them, I think it was 3-2. Or maybe it was 3-0, and Raz scored a couple of goals that game. He was sensational. You know, his hold-up play, flicking it on to those two, where he had Sterling and Rashford running alongside him, and he was holding it up, flicking it onto them. I think he's class. And the way he plays for England is very different to the way he plays club-wise, because he's asked to drop a lot deeper. So, no, I don't agree on that Harry Kane thing at all. Basing off one game, yeah, I know he scored, 2 goals this season. Yeah, because he doesn't want to be there, and he has ups and downs all the time. But, yeah, lad, check his this season stats again. Rips them apart. Yeah, this season. Do you see a key word there? This season. The guy scored, I mean, do you remember the golden boot he won above Lukaku? Where Lukaku was cruising into it. He was like 3 goals ahead going into the last 2 match weeks. And Harry Kane scores 7 goals in the last 2 games of the season to poach it away from him. What are you talking about? How am I honestly sat here with you trying to disprove Harry Kane over 1 international game against Italy and over 1 poor season for Tottenham? I don't. Let me get his stats up just for you, and I'll show you about him tearing them apart. I mean, look. I mean, they have it here. 30 goals. 30 goals and 2 assists in 37 appearances that in 2017-2018. That's 32 goal contributions in 37 games. 29 plus 7, 36 goal contributions in 30 matches in 2016-17. 21 goal contributions in 28 games. 20 goal contributions in 29, 23 plus 14, 37 goal contributions in 35 games. So last season, he was getting over a goal and an assist every single game. In 2016-17, again, he was getting over a goal and assist in every single game. He was getting over a goal and assist in every 2 games in 2017-18, and the same in all the other years. How, after 1 season where he's got 5 goals and 2 assists in 19 matches, are you going to disprove him? Because remember this 2018-19 where he had this return. This was meant to be a poor season for him. I mean, I'm not getting your point here at all, personally. Kane is probably one of the only players, bar from Son, who wants to be at Spurs. This season, Kane's been bad, but yet still scored 5 goals. Exactly. We seem to be lost without Bamford. That just shows his quality. Absolutely. Exactly. I couldn't put it better than myself. Where are you from, pal? I'm from London. Myself. That's where I was born and raised. I'm currently living in Manchester, though. Frankie, you're right. Right about what there is. Harry Kane coming to Leeds? He's getting a lot of airtime. No, well, you know, we were talking about the Leeds transfers, and then it kind of just moved into talking about, I mean, the first half an hour, 40 minutes was all Leeds transfers, then it just kind of moved into talking about strikers and stuff. And this guy was slagging off Harry Kane, and we were just having a debate, really, about this, because, you know, we've kind of touched on most of the Leeds transfers so far. But yes, bless him, 120 minutes to a goal contribution. August slaps a goal in 108 minutes in a decade. I don't know what you mean now. I'm going to go now. You should do a podcast. I am actually starting a brand new podcast with my mate, Ibrema. It's going to be called TN Sports. We're going to be covering all things combat sports and football. Of course, if you guys enjoy football or fighting, we're going to be covering a lot of that in there. So I am very excited to start that podcast up, and I'll let you guys know where to find it when it is created. Come to the end of the season, who will Leeds sell? Would you say Costa, Rodrigo, Roberts, Klitsch, Ayling, Cooper, and Casilla? We'll sell Casilla, I think. We'll sell Costa. Rodrigo might end up going, and potentially Roberts, but I'm not sure. I don't think we'll sell that many. So probably Casilla, Costa, and maybe either Roberts or Rodrigo. Damn, sorry, Van Persie didn't exist. Sorry, Aguero didn't exist. Sorry, Rooney, his prime didn't exist. No, well, just a few names also. Why are you saying this? Like I said, those players were poor. I didn't even say Harry Kane was better than those players. I didn't even say he was better than Aguero. I just said that he's one of the... I didn't say he's the best. I never said. When did I rate him? See, this is the problem with people in this day and age. I give someone credit. I talk about him as a person, and now you're making the jump to conclusion that I'm saying he's the greatest Premier League striker of all time. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying he is one of the greatest. And he is up there with the Van Persies, with the Rooneys, with the Agueros, with the Alan Shearers. I'm not saying he's better than them. I don't know where. If you can find a clip of me saying he's the greatest Premier League striker of all time, then I'll give you 50 quid, mate, because I just simply didn't say that. What you're doing right now is you're making assumptions of what I said. You are deriving conclusions that are just completely false, and they are breaded out of fake information which you have self-manipulated. So what you're actually arguing against is a point that I haven't actually raised. So you're simply just having an argument with yourself, mate. Sound easy as 50 quid. Go on, find the point where I said he's the greatest Premier League striker of all time, and then you will get yourself 50 quid hand delivered, mate. Want my PayPal or bank details? Not unless if you're going to be sending me £15 when you realise you can't find anything there. You did say he was the best striker in the Prem. No, I did not say he was the greatest striker in the Premier League. No, I didn't. No, I didn't, pal. I never said he is the best Prem striker of all time. That is absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I said he's one of the best. One of the best. I didn't say the best. Yeah, you need to understand the difference between one of the best and the best, because there's quite a big difference in there, my man. But nonetheless, that we have gone a little bit off topic. We have hit 11 goddamn likes. Thank you guys so much for the support. I don't know where you're liking from. I don't know who you are, but all I know is you guys are absolute living legends. But for now, guys, this is a Leeds United transfer talk. We have gone on to talking about a lot of other things. I do thank you guys so much for watching. As we just finish off here, literally roll back and look, lad. He said best in the Prem, so I jumped to that assumption. He said best in the Prem. I'm afraid I didn't. I'm afraid I did not say he's the best Premier League striker of all time. If you can find me saying the best Premier League striker of all time, then no. Because your point, if I did even say he's the best Premier League striker right now, then your point of bringing Rooney, Aguero and Van Persie into it would be completely irrelevant, because they're not playing in the Premier League right now. And in fact, it's completely irrelevant because I didn't say that he's the best in the Prem right now. I said he's one of the best. I never said he's... When did I... you know what? I'm done. You're mugging me off here. You're mugging me off. You're mugging me off. And in fact, he probably is potentially one of the best, potentially the best right now. But I didn't even say that he was there because there's a few other names in contention. But nonetheless, look, it is football. Of course, football debates get heated sometimes. You know, there's no hate no hate behind it. You know, this is just football. You know, I love it. I know. I'm sorry if I sounded a bit aggressive there or anything like that, but that's just football debate. That's what we're all here for. It's the passion and the drive for the game that keeps us going. I was called lad today. I felt quite chuffed. You never said right now. You just said the best striker in the Premier League. No, I did not, Matrix. Right now, I would not argue. Well, yeah, anyway, guys, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, no, 100%, man, 100%. He is held back by Spurs. And could you imagine what he'd be doing in a club like Manchester City? Yeah, done a good job, JT. I'm nothing more than a custodian of your guys' viewpoints and your guys' contributions. So thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. And boy, there's going to be a hell of a lot of transfer talk coming very soon. And I know this one was a very Leeds United centered transfer talk, but later this week we'll be doing a general all-round Premier League transfer talk. So we'll be talking about all the clubs that you guys may support or may be interested in. and really going through the meat and bones of everything going in here. Love the vids. Thank you so much, Freshly Picked Football Vids. I really do appreciate the support. So would you say is better Ronaldo or Cavani? Cristiano Ronaldo for me. So I understand that. I just took you saying is best in the Prem of all time. You, my bad. Doesn't sit right, lol. I didn't say... The thing is, I didn't even say... I said maybe you didn't hear the one of. Unless if I'm really mistaken. I never said he's the best of all time. And maybe I said he's the best at this current moment, but I never said he's the best of all time. I think he deserves belongs in the conversation, but I wouldn't say he's the best of all time at this current moment in time. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. Like I said, I will see you guys very, very soon. We'll be doing a general transfer show, and there's a lot more content coming soon. Like I said, the podcast talking about fighting, talking about football. If any of you guys do enjoy fighting as well, then that's going to be there. Fancy United one, so linked to everyone. That's an easy one. Come on, easy teaches youngster. CR7 ruined synergy for me. Not worth it at all. He's tarnishing what I saw as a kid for me. I'm not 100% sure I agree with that, but of course, you know, you follow the club a lot more closely than I do, so that's fair enough. Night Ewan, good luck tomorrow. If you're referencing good luck to Man United tomorrow, I hope Man United get absolutely slapped. Cristiano Ronaldo went from 2008 when he was destroying Tony Hibbert, Titus Brambles. Once he hit the ground in Spain, he dribbles declined off. I think it's just him getting older about the dribbles declining and stuff and him moving position, if I'm honest there. Yeah, Night Ben anyway, best of luck. But the English Propaganda League always blows everything up. CL7 Ultimate Player, that's even good from me. Exactly. And if you get a compliment from a Leeds fan about a Man United player, that says it all about the player. Now I'm having an OP without giving away too much, but we'll get... Oh, you're having an operation. Well, wish you the best of luck, my man, Ewan. I hope you... I wish you a very safe operation. I wish you a speedy recovery. Obviously, it's not the time and the place for you to have to go into it. But, hey, man, my thoughts and prayers are with you. I pray to God that you get through it all right. And touch wood, you get through it well, my man. And make sure you're here later on in the week, fit and fresh, for when we'll be going through every Premier League transfer. But thanks, guys. Night to all of you. Good night to everyone. Thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you guys later. Good luck, Ewan. I just had one a few days ago. Really? Well, hopefully, I wish you a speedy recovery from that as well. Should be good, lad. Absolutely, man. Hope so. Hope you recover well. Hope you recover well indeed. Freshly picked football videos, and I'd love to speak to more about you. Yeah, I'm a sub. Well, thank you very much, Matrix Gaming. Although we disagreed on a few things, the fact that we all disagreed on points, I think, helps bring out a discussion more. You know, sometimes when everyone agrees on things, it's hard to bring a discussion out. That's why I enjoy opposing viewpoints. And although, I may reply in a way which makes me sound angry or pissed off, it's just the way it is. It's the way, you see it even when you're with your mates and you get into a heated argument. It's good stuff, isn't it? Raises debate. But thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. It's all about football debating it. Absolutely. Sub now, lad. It's all considerate disagreement if it becomes arguments. Exactly. Just a healthy debate. But thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'll see you guys very, very shortly. Thank you guys so much as well. Au revoir. Au revoir, my brothers.